Hello all of you, I hope you are doing good. Very important video for CA intermediate student, because in this video I am going to discuss with you how to present your accounting standard answers like a topper. Students are generally facing problem in the presentation of accounting standards question that here. So let me tell you honestly that it is easy to score a full marks in accounting standard question, provided you should have a knowledge of the concept. You should know each and every concept of accounting standard. At the same time, you should know how to present the answers there. So watch the video till the end, because here in this video I'm going to discuss with you different situation, different scenario. They may ask you the question and how to present the answer in that particular situation. The first category is that here they may ask you that here accounting standard question theory based. What is theory based? Directly they will ask you example, tell me the advantages of accounting standard, elements of financial statement, like that. Rarely they ask. I know they ask in question number 6. I will tell you. Rarely, only one question they ask on it. Okay, I will discuss with it. Now, situation based question. What is situation based question? They will give you some situation and what is their opinion and what should we do in that particular situation, or whether the treatment done by a particular company is correct or incorrect, like that. And the third one is a practical question. Okay, so they will ask you like the calculate the cost of PP or inventory, like that. Calculation is there. Okay, a construction contract. Okay, calculate how much the profit or loss that they have, like that, from that particular construction contract. So they may ask you the practical question. And let me tell you honestly, more than 80% question is going to come on practical questions only. More than 80% chances the question is going to come in practical questions only. Okay, so no problem. I will discuss with you one by one. Okay, how to give the answer in particular situation. The first is theory based questions that here. Theory based question. Let me tell you honestly, no need to mug up anything. You have a accounting standard book that you have from wherever you have done your classes. Okay, so this is a theory book like this. You can see that it's the repeat this 2 pointer. It's the concept book that here. Okay, so like that you have covered all the concept you should know. Now no need to mug up the thing. Okay, now what is going to happen now? ICA asks only one, rarely, and that is only one question. So ICA rarely asks directly theory from accounting standard. They rarely ask, I'm going to say, explain these, for example, advantages of accounting standard, like that. But if they ask, mostly they ask in question number 6 in your paper, and that question also comes in either or. So they give 2 questions there. Either one practical question will come or theory. So you have the option to skip this theory question and solve this practical question. And I recommend to go with the practical, because in practical question you can score full marks there. Okay, so avoid this theory question exam. One question will come. Okay, only one question in question number 6 generally they ask, or that too on either or all. So either solve this practical question or theory question. Okay, so prefer this question only. If suppose you are going to write the question in examination, how to write this theory question? So how to write this? First, read the concept book with understanding. What is more important that now you should know the concept that now. For example, from wherever you have done your classes, what you have to do better, that you should know the concept that here. Okay, so once you know the concept that here, then you have to write it down in your own words. The reason is that we focus so much on no theory question, one question come, and that too you can skip on here the option that here. Okay, so avoid this theory question that here. If suppose you're writing this theory question that now, no need to mug up the thing only just for one question. Don't take so much of headache for that. Okay, so what you will do that now, read the concept book with understanding. Okay, concept book, and then I told you that here, don't memorize it. Okay, understand it. That is more important. So understand the logic and the purpose of what accounting standard. That is more important. And write in your own words. Use simple language, because ICA check clarity, not the textbook words that here. That is important. For accounts, I can say that. Okay, the concept is more important that here. But for the theory question, rarely they ask. So don't just, I mean to say, waste so much of time here on this theory based question. Rarely they ask. Or if they ask just one question, and that too on option that here. Okay. Now second is the most is the third one. I will come to it how to present. 3 steps I will tell you there. Now second is the situation based question. Let me tell you honestly that here, situation based question, I can say that now here the chances of the theory based question, you can say the 5%, and situation based question you can say around 15% question is going to come on it. Okay, and 80% on practical questions. Okay, I will come to that. Okay, so main is the practical one. Now understand why I'm saying that situation based. As we know that here your paper 30 marks come for MCQs, and 70 marks other than MCQs that here. Okay. So generally in MCQ based question that here now, they give the situation there. Okay. Case study they will give you there. Okay. And there they ask. I'm not talking about here for the MCQs question that I'm basically talking about how to do the presentation. If you want to write it down something in MCQ, you just have to take the correct one that here. Okay. So we are not talking about the MCQs here. Okay. For the MCQs, there is a different approach. Okay. But I'm talking other than MCQs question that if they give you that some situation that here and they tell you what to do in that situation or whether the treatment done by that particular entity is correct or incorrect. So remember the 3 steps you have to follow. In first step, write down what the accounting standards say. What your accounting standard says that here. So start with the accounting standard. Listen carefully. Start with the accounting standard number and name. Always give the number and name. For example, they ask you the question on AS 16, borrowing cost. So start according to or as per accounting standard 16. That is a number and then name. Borrowing cost. You got the point. Always start a first para. Basically, what accounting standard says. They ask you something on the qualifying asset. Suppose that here. Okay. So start with the para that now, as per accounting standard 16, borrowing cost, and then write the main principle of that relevant point. For example, they ask you on qualifying asset. So write down what you mean by qualifying asset there. The first para should always be on what accounting standard says. So, and then first sentence should always be start with what? As per accounting standard, number and name. Both should, you have to mention there. Okay. Then write down what accounting standard basically says that here now. Then that is first para, you write it down. It will cover 4-5 lines suppose. Okay. Then you have to write it down here. Step number 2, what the question says. So it will always be begin with in the given case. How you start the para? Second para, in the given case. So write what is mentioned in the question, the fact. What we call them? We call them fact. So first para, what accounting standard says. As per accounting standard 16, borrowing cost. Okay, example. Then you will mention there what on that particular point AS says. Second para, in the given case. So basically you are giving the fact what is given in question. In the given case, whatever is given the question, you will mention there. Okay. Then third para, that is a conclusion. So now you have to connect para 1 and para 2. What accounting standard says and what is given in question. Okay. Now they connect the fact with the AS rule. Basically you are going to connect now para 1 and para 2. Accordingly you have to take a call whether the treatment done by correct or incorrect. So apply the accounting standard rule and write one clear conclusion. Okay. State what should be the treatment. Okay. What treatment they have done. If some certain time they ask you what should be the treatment, then you will tell them this should be the treatment. Or they have already taken some decision, they have given some treatment there. Then you have to tell them whether treatment done by them is correct or incorrect. So simple that here. Okay. So this is the type of question, situation based that here. Okay. So they will give one para, one company XYZ Limited. They have done this treatment, whether the treatment is correct or incorrect. So first para, what accounting standards say. Second, you will start the A with AS number and name. Then here, second para, in the given case, what is given in the accounting standard, what is given in the question, fact. And third, you're going to compare para 1 and 2 and you will take your call whether the treatment is correct or incorrect. Certain time they have not given any treatment there. They ask you directly, what is your opinion? So then you will tell there, this is the correct treatment as per the accounting standard. Okay, you got the point. But these type of question asked, but very rarely in those 70 marks paper. Okay, 30 is the MCQ. That's a different thing. Okay. Now, theory based question, only one question will generally come down in question number 6, that too in option. Situation based, rarely done. Now, this is the main area where they ask you the question in examination, practical question that here. Okay. Now, what happened now? Here in this practical question that here, first step that you always for example, they tell you to calculate the cost of PP. Okay. So, you always that here, the first should be the heading. Always, this is step number 1. Give a title, what is asked. Suppose they ask to calculate the cost of PP. So write down calculation of cost of PP. Heading is mandatory. So always start with the heading. Example, computation of cost of PP, computation of inventory, like that. So what is step number 1 here when they ask you practical questions? Numbers are there, calculations are there. So you will start with what? Heading. Always remember that. Well, second step that now, write the items in the table. For example, they tell you to calculate the cost of it. So here you will do the calculation. You will write it down all the items right here. For example, the here when you will write it down, that is the material, whatever you have incurred for that particular PP example, you're calculating the cost of PP. But you know what happened? Suppose they will give you 10 items. Out of 10, it might be even 2 are not allowed to consider in the cost of PP. Example I'm giving it. Okay, example, 2 items not considered in the cost of what? PP. Okay, for example, inauguration cost, like that. Okay, or operating losses, they are not a part of the cost of the PP. So what is going to happen to make you confused? Out of 10, example I'm giving, 2 items will be there that is not allowed to consider cost of the PP. So you know what you will do, that first you will give the proper title of the table, okay? Then you will do the calculation. All the item will write it down, amount you will write it, the cost of PP will come. But out of 10, 2 items is not a part of the cost of the PP. Then third step, remember, item which not included, you have to write it down here in notes. Below the table, write it down, note. These items are not included as per accounting standard 10 example. So you have to write it down in note. So valuer know that out of 10, you know that 8 is a part of example, the cost of the PP, 2 are not. So those 2 are not a part of the cost of PP. I know that. And you also know that you're not going to consider when you calculate the cost of the PP. But remember that bit, that 2 should be mentioned in a note there, that these are the not a part of the cost of the PP. You got the point here? This is how you have to solve the practical question that now. Obviously, you should know the concept. You should know the concept, which is very important. But how to present the answer, that is also very important. So here, if we discuss in a crux, that what is going to happen now is theory question. Don't focus on, don't waste your time to mug up the thing. Understanding is important. That is, if suppose the chances is very less, if suppose you have to write any theory question, write in own word. Even you do that to mug up the thing, and you still you will get out of 5, you will get 3. Or maximum 4. If you write it in your own words, still you will get 3 or 4. So don't waste your time here. Okay. Situation based question, generally what happen, they in the MCQs based question they ask there. Okay. They will give the situation, what is the answer, like that. Okay. But in a 70 marks question, I am talking about where they ask the accounting standard question, how to present them, you know, in the 3 para. What is given in the accounting, what is accounting standard says, what is given in question, and then conclusion. When it's come to the practical question, 3 steps. First, give the title properly, then table, do the calculation there, and third, which item you have not considered, and that too as per the accounting standard. So this is how you have to present your accounting standard answers in examination. That will help you to get maximum marks in accounting standard. Okay. So many students were asking me how to do the presentation of it. So this is how you have to do the presentation in examination. If you want to say anything, please comment in comment section that here, or more videos you want on certain other topics that here. You can write it down in the comment section. I will make a video on that. That is for today. Take care, all of you. Bye-bye.